Aloha, my friend. Dan McDonald here, Life Regenerator on YouTube. Today I've got a recipe. I've made this in the past before, but YouTube is kind of a moving community, and so the last time I did a spree of coconut yogurt videos, there was tons of questions that came up. And one of the questions that came up from the people who really want to incorporate these probiotics from Paradigm into their program but don't have access to the coconuts. I realize the coconuts are a specialty food. My guesstimate would be that about 60 to 70% of you could get those coconuts, and probably 30 to 40% of you, it's fairly easy to do that, with gradations along. Well, I can drive to the Asian store, an hour away or something like that, if you live more in middle America where these types of things aren't readily available. So the coconut yogurt is one of my favorites. Obviously I live on the island of Kauai, so it's very convenient. But if you don't have access to coconuts to make like the coconut almond yogurt, coconut pecan yogurt, coconut walnut is delicious. The second easiest option to the coconut yogurt is the hemp seed yogurt, which is amazingly simple and incredibly rich and delicious. So let me make this recipe for you, and I'll share just a few things that I've learned over the years making the yogurts. The hemp seed yogurt came to me recently, about a year ago. I had made coconut hemp seed, but I had never made hemp seed by itself, and I found it to be amazingly rich, delicious, and incredibly versatile. So, and the other thing about the hemp seeds is that everybody can get hemp seeds in today's day and age. So this is just the next best step, and for many of you, the easiest and the best way to incorporate these probiotics and getting the medicinal qualities of these probiotics into your guts. Probiotics and enzymes is the fastest growing part of the supplement industry, because people are having a hard time digesting, and there's many reasons for that. One of them is the gut dysbiosis that is becoming all too common, starting from cesarean section at birth, working our way into genetically modified foods, soy formulas, stress, antibiotics, not to mention just the lack of biodiversity in industrialized European type nations that have been processing and milling, destroying their foods and disconnecting themselves from nature. So the microbial activity, which is beneficial, becomes diminished each preceding generation as we allow these infiltrations of industrialized concepts through the birthing medical process. In other words, we're getting weaker and weaker, and we're looking for tools to help us to make up for that weakness as we lack the connection to the earth, which has the higher levels of microbial biodiversity, which comes from the plants, which comes from walking on mud, which comes from being not born in a sterile hospital where there's no fresh air around a bunch of people that don't necessarily have your best interest at heart due to the training that they receive. They don't really understand that you actually want bugs, you want bacteria, you want the beneficial natural type that are in the soil and in the plants and in the ocean. There's millions of microorganisms per square centimeter of ocean water. And when you jump in the ocean, you get inoculated with life. When you play in the dirt, remember when, I was of the generation that was the last generation to play in the dirt. I just remember just the tiniest little bits of that, but I bet you the generation before us played in the dirt. Well, that's probably all they had, So anyways, I really love the educational aspects of these videos because that's really where my heart is. But I will get to the recipe here. I'm just saying that we live in too sterile of a world. Go get dirty. Bathe in some springs that are natural and real, and dunk into a river and swim in a lake and put your hands on the dirt and rub the dirt on your body. I go to Makaleha Springs where I get my water here, one of the best waters in the world, and I rub the mud all over me to keep myself in a high state of health by introducing natural microbes into my environment through my skin. So I'm the dirtiest, cleanest guy on earth. I never wear shoes or a shirt hardly ever. And yet I take, 3 or 4 baths and showers a day. I have an outdoor shower that I just built, which is really epic. I'll make a video of that one of these days. And I jump in the ocean every day, and I swim in the pools, the little streams around here, so that I'm getting a variety of and then I roll in the sand and I play in the mud. And I hope that kind of message comes through, is that we went way too sterile, and we put on the shoes and we got in the car and we went to the office where there's no fresh air and you're breathing all your coworkers' unhealthy, stressful microbes, and then other things like people being intimate with multiple partners spreading all kinds of different unhealthy microbes. And so that's why we bring in these 5 strains. It's only 5 strains out of thousands, but these are 5 of the most well studied. For the last 30 or 40 years they've actually been studying probiotics. But the one thing that is for sure is that your doctor and the pharmaceutical companies do not want you to know about enzymes and probiotics. So that's why it's all on the hush-hush, because enzymes and probiotics will do for you what 90% of all the prescription drugs are for. They'll thin your blood, they'll build your GI tract up with healthy microdiversity, which will build your immune system, which will give you strength, which will help you to heal if you live a healthy lifestyle and get enough rest and don't have any stress, and follow your heart, follow your heart, follow your heart. Feel your heart. Learn to feel. We live in a society of thinkingness, so we all go to school and we cram our brains full of God knows what, and as you mature and you observe nature, you realize that, wow, about 90% of that is fallacious. And so you get these truths, and it's like, then you realize, wait, the truth is written on my heart. And as you learn to feel your heart will guide you, and your heart is the resonator. And then if you listen to that, it'll guide you to these places of awakening in your life through the path of health. Then you'll have a healthy body, a healthy heart that you're in touch with. You'll have a mind that you can, instead of controlling you with the fallacious data, you learn to control it and put it on what you want to become. And then you emanate outwards your thoughts, and then those thoughts collapse the potential of the universal light into your experience. So you see what you are. So become love, become kindness, become abundant, become generous, be those things, and you'll emanate that frequency, and the universe has to respond. But mankind has gotten so small in their thinking that they think that they're going to just do the quick fix, or they're going to pull their little scam, and it's never going to work, and it fails every time. So you might as well practice the virtues of honesty and kindness and patience and persistence and adherence to truth, because that's always going to win out in the end, because that is what the universe is. Now, how I got from hemp seeds and probiotics to those levels of consciousness, I'll leave you to decide how that happened, but I for one love it. So, after 10 minutes of rapping and connecting, I've been very, very busy. And perhaps one of these days I will catch up in a little bit more depth of what that means. But for now, for those of you who actually came here to get a quick recipe. I may end up doing this again, but I go for these periods of time where I don't get a chance to connect with the viewers very often, and then I want to do that to make sure that we're on the same page and that you are blessed with the knowledge and the experience that I've been blessed with, that has made my life 100 million times more better than it was when I started this journey of awakening so many years ago. Thank you. So now I got the hemp seeds. I'll show you how easy this is. I could have done this video in like 1 minute, but I wanted to take the time with you because I'm really all about my community. I'm really all about the people that have been here since the beginning and whose lives have been absolutely changed. You're probably the black sheep. You're probably the one where the rest of your family goes, oh God, you and your raw foods and your healthy skin and your clean, healthy working colon. While, you know, the rest of everybody's just strung out on some weird stimulant, alcohol, coffee, drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, crazy, confused, depressed, processed food, which makes your brain depressed and messes up your gut, but then you just keep going because everyone else does in society, so why not? But this channel is for those of us who see the light, who are the light chasers, the warriors of truth, who believe that we must do what's right in order to free ourselves from the matrix. Can I get an amen? So I have the hemp seed here. I'm going to measure this stuff real cool like, because I'm chilling and I'm not in any hurry, because I used to try to hurry, but this is DTM and this is one of a kind. So if you're part of this community and you can dig it, you are one of the blessed ones, in my opinion, because there ain't no drama up around here. Here we go. We got 1 cup of hemp seeds. I just wanted to measure this out for myself because normally I just take the whole bag. And so what we have about, I would say that truthfully was about, you know, that is about 1 1/3 cups. So let's see, we got a little bit more. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just dial it in here real quick and we'll get all official on this thing. So for those of you who hung around and chilled out while the DTM wrapped and got his jollies off, I'm gonna make this is a sour cream for tonight's tacos. We have a very special guest, and tonight is DTM's world famous raw tacos. So, and if you want to know where you can find that, I have the 30-day Living Foods Transformational Program recipe book. The world famous raw tacos are in there. That's at my website, regenerateyourlife.org. It's also on a couple of my online classes as well. Gourmet raw vegan party foods. You will find a great ultra version of the DTM world famous raw tacos. So check that out. There's always a link down below for that. This is the 2 cups of hemp seeds. This is so good. It's like so rich and creamy. The next step is to take some of this Makaleha Magic Hydrating Spring Water, ultra clean, ultra pure, ultra filled with life. I'm going to do 1 cup. So I'm going to try to get this yogurt to be as thick as possible. Now first, I'm going to blend it before I add the probiotic. I'll add that in at the end, just and whip that in real quick at the end. So let's see what happens with 1 cup of water. It's going to be too thick, so I'm going to have to add some more, but we're going to go step by step and find out exactly how much water it takes to get this to be that sour cream consistency that I need for the tacos tonight. Okay, well that answers that question. I can tell you right away it's going to be 2 cups of hemp seed to 1 cup of water, because I can see it now. It's going to thicken up a bit as those seeds pulverize a bit more. So I'm going to add my probiotic now. I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of the Pyridine probiotic. Bam. Now, you add a 1/4 teaspoon to your yogurts every day. This thing will last you a year. Now, it doesn't last me a year because I use it, like, for example, the other day, I did what I normally don't do and ate these olives, which 6 months ago was the last time I had them, and then I had them again the other day, and just to remind myself of why I don't eat those olives. Then I toss them away because I'm not going to put those into my body or anyone else's. Something is just off. But anyways, my stomach got off. I take a scoop of the probiotics, I take a scoop of the enzymes, 15 minutes later, boom, everything's cool. You know what I mean? And so I use probiotics and enzymes in my lifestyle as a remedial measure in case something slips in that isn't 100% legit. I don't know what it is with those olives, but they're off because my partner, Dakota, she also got off. We both got off, and we blasted that and got back on again. So that's a good thing for y'all to know. So now I've added a 1/4 teaspoon of the probiotics here, which I want to blend in, which the probiotics are amazing in that it'll start taking some of the carbohydrates and breaking those down into glucose. That's another amazing thing about hemp seeds, is that you've got carbs, you've got protein, and you've got fat. And my opinion is if you want to survive long term on the living foods diet, you want to realize that protein is good, carbs are good, and fat is good. And you go with as much as you can with the seasons and the cycles, but you learn to use all the gifts of nature in balance and harmony, because if you don't get enough of the essential fats, you're going to have problems, and it's going to mostly show up in your wrinkly skin. So you can see it in those folks who eat too much sugar and don't eat any fats. Now, there are excellent, you can be a fruitarian, but you got to make sure that you're getting yourself some healthy fats like these avocados, which grow on my tree out here. I've actually got 21 avocados lined up on the windowsill over there because in one day, the tree dropped 17 avocados. I put a picture of that up on my Instagram. If you had 17 avocados drop in one day, you'd be stoked. So here's the mix. And that's how that is. And that is absolute, total perfection. So we just figured it out. Oh, it's like, it smells like, I mean, the strangest thing. It's got a little bit of a peanut buttery smell, to be honest with you, but it's so rich and thick and creamy and delicious and amazing. Let me grab a jar here so that I can culture that on the counter for about 4 to 6 hours at room temperature. I will talk more about the other yogurts and whatnot and the different ways. Sometimes you can do it on the countertop, like I'm going to do with this, as an accelerated method. But there is a way that I've learned on my own by experimenting and playing, where I'll take the yogurts and right away put them right into the fridge, which slows down the culturization process. Because Lou, who taught this to me, he'll put it on the counter for 4 to 6 hours, let it culturize, and then put it in the fridge. And that's another great method. That's the medium culture. The deep, rich, intense, explosive culture I have found comes when you just, boom, put it right into the fridge. And again, I've got more awesome videos coming about all these different seed cheeses and things like that, because I really believe in using high quality nuts and seeds to get the essential oils that you need to saturate your body, to keep your skin nice, to keep your hormones balanced, and to keep your mind right. You'll see that. All you got to do is look out into the whole vegan community and find out, if you see people that aren't eating any fat, what happens to their brain. goes to mush. So you want to make sure you're staying balanced in your life. I've had to go through a lot in this program. And for me, it was about, I was dedicated, I'm down on my knees. I was dedicated to, you know, finding a way to be a 100% live food person, because it was almost a religious, you know, download that I got. Now, most people aren't that religious about their food, but what it represented to me became the focus and the center, which led to all these other areas of my life blossoming. And so it was a real commitment to life. It was a commitment to my body as a temple. And so for those of you over the years who told me to get a spatula, I actually am the proud owner of 2 of them now. So how do you like that? You thought that you were just learning from me, but no, my friend, I have learned from all of you so much through your comments. Now, look at that. I know that I have the longest recipe videos. Oh man. Pow! Delicious. So the versatility of this is unreal. You take a little garlic, sea salt, dill, and lemon or lime juice, and you maybe add a little bit of water and thin that out a little bit. Boom, you got one of the best dressings in the world. You could mix this with like a red pepper and add some turmeric and cayenne and make an amazing curry. You could dip your vegetables in that just like that. A little bit of sea salt if you want. Dip a little bit into that right there. You could also make a great dip. Take some of this, a little sea salt, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of basil, mix in some pine nuts even, and make a hemp seed and pine nut yogurt dip and bring that to a party in a vegetable tray, and the vegetables will actually get eaten. And so the ideas are infinite. I've got a million recipes on the way. I'm going to just drop a lid on that and leave it. And then tonight, when we go to make the DTM world famous raw vegan tacos, we got some serious sour cream to go with the walnut meat and the tomatoes and the jalapeno and the onion and the corn and the cilantro and the avocado, guacamole laid over the top, spicy peppers, bam. So I'm here in paradise, living my dream, following my highest vision, and encouraging everyone out there to do the same. And there will be some decisions, some tough decisions to be made along the way. So when you consider your own life and how many tough decisions you have to make, remember the guy standing next to you, the person standing in front of you, the lady behind you in the line, or the lady at the grocery store, or your cousin, or your uncle, or your brother, your church members, your school teachers, your fellow students. Everybody around you has got to make 10,000 decisions every single day as a human being. For the animals, it's pretty easy. And then for us, you know, we are as equally blessed as we are cursed. But the one thing that gives us the power to move on is that love. And that love is going to help us to understand that that person over there has 10,000 decisions to make every day too. One wrong decision, pop, you're off the game board. So we should all, in my opinion, do the best we can to be kind, gentle, understanding. Let go of the criticism, which is really just a reflection of your own self. You've got the unconscious criticism, where you're totally unaware that you're doing it to yourself and you're projecting that onto everyone else. Then you've got the second stage, where you are, aware that you criticize yourself, but you also criticize others subconsciously, just as a emanation of your field. And then there's the next level where you really, really love yourself. Keep forgiving yourself, loving yourself, gentle with yourself. You can't keep up with everyone's demands on who they want you to be. Go live with courage and be who you really are. And do what's easy and effortless for you. Your path will flow like a river. Unless you're trying to do everything for everyone else that isn't in your highest good. That isn't in your highest heart. You save the world by being at home and being happy. There's no need to go anywhere. The greatest thing you can do for this world is to fall madly and deeply in love with yourself. Then your eyes will see what's right. Then you'll see with the eyes of God. This amazingness all around us. And you'll see the beauty in everyone, even in all of our mistakes. All the mistakes leading to the, experiences that we need to grow. So don't take away anybody else's growth. Because growth is what life does. And growth is what life is. So our focus is on our own personal growth. And as we grow and learn to love ourselves unconditionally and see ourselves as beautiful, when we look in the mirror, then our eyes get right. And we look upon the earth and the people in it. And we don't need to fix the world or change people or they're wrong or they're right. We can just be a bodhisattva. And you don't have to do anything except just be that light. Okay, it's getting weird now. Dan McDonald, one of a kind. I love this big guy. And I love you too, because I love me too. And that allows me to be that for you. Aloha. Aloha, which means love.